The geological timescale spans over 4 billion years. Life first emerged 3.7 billion years ago. The first modern humans only appeared 300,000 years ago. A great many wonderful and beautiful creatures have lived on this planet we call home.
Howdy, and welcome back to Tom's Dino Show and Tractor Supply Co. You may remember from last time that I was being, looked at by an Allosaurus. I was able to put a little distance between myself and them. Allosaurus doesn't seem to know that humans are actually an apex predator, so they should really show me a bit more respect. For a while, some paleontologists thought that theropods could only see movement, which isn't true and really doesn't make a lot of sense if you think too hard about it. Birds are famous for having good vision, and birds are theropods. It is a good thing Allosaurus' eyes still can't see as well as human eyes, so as long as Allosaurus doesn't come this way, I should be able to sneak away without issue. I was able to put a little bit more distance between myself and Allosaurus, and while wandering aimlessly, I came across this lone Brachiosaurus. Brachiosaurus was a massive sauropod. We have known a Brachiosaurus for over a century, but we still haven't even found enough bones to complete a single skeleton. They were far less common than Camarasaurus. I might hang out with this dude for the night. There's water nearby, which is pretty nice, as I'm extremely dehydrated. I also figure that predators might give a creature as large as Brachiosaurus wide berth. Paleontologists still haven't found evidence that Brachiosaurus was preyed upon, which brings me a little comfort for the night. Oh, a helicopter! They came to save me! Right here, guys! Guys, stop! Just typical of them. The security guys before I left were all like, "You're gonna get eaten this time. We're under strict orders not to render aid to you." I don't even know what the word render means.
Well, I guess they didn't see me, because there's no way they would have just left me on the ground.
I'm just really thirsty.
I could really go for a nice glass of high fructose corn syrup.
Anyway, I'm here with Diplodocus. Just doing a quick check for any theropods, and we are good to go. Diplodocus was another large sauropod from the Morrison Formation like Brachiosaurus. Unlike Brachiosaurus, we have found a lot of Diplodocus remains, and we know a lot about them. For instance, Diplodocus held its neck very low to the ground. Paleontologists still argue over how Brachiosaurus held its neck, but holding it high to the sky in an S shape is more agreed upon. Another big difference between Brachiosaurus and Diplodocus is paleontologists are fairly certain Diplodocus could stand on its back legs, something that Brachiosaurus couldn't do. I can stand on my hind legs all day, making me better than Brachiosaurus. Something really interesting about Diplodocus is that their teeth are very different from other sauropods. Their teeth are better at stripping all the leaves off of a plant, unlike other sauropods who are better at grazing. Diplodocus also had a really long tail, which acted as a counterbalance to its really long neck. I don't want to get too close to this big guy. He may be a sauropod and may not eat meat, but he's hungry right now and it's chow time. Some animals, even dogs, can get very defensive while they're eating, and I don't want to disturb him and make him upset with me. He outweighs me by like a lot. It amazes me that sauropods had such small mouths, but were able to eat enough food to get so big. They must have spent most of their time eating. Speaking of eating, very recently paleontologists have made a super interesting discovery about sauropods. The discovery wasn't made in the Morrison Formation or with Diplodocus, but I think it's really interesting and worth talking about. Paleontologists discovered a sauropod with fossilized plant material in its stomach, which had never been discovered before, further confirming that long-necked dinosaurs like sauropods were plant eaters. Another interesting thing was the plant matter came from both tall and short plants, indicating that they ate every plant they could, which makes sense. You have to eat a lot to get so large. He almost got me there. He. I might just stay with him for a bit, but Diplodocus can't walk very fast, so it's kind of painful to walk beside him, like trying to get a toddler through an airport. Well, I lost sight of the Diplodocus, but fortunately my ride found me. Right here, guys. Just swing on by and I'll hop right in. Let me just flash my flashlight to make sure they see me. Guys? Are you kidding me? And great, there's another Allosaurus. These things are everywhere. Well, I gotta go running away again. I had another night of hiding in a bush, but when I came to, there was a Brachiosaurus crossing the river. What a beautiful creature. Just looking around for any theropods, they really sneak up on you. You wouldn't think a 2-ton predator could do that, but they definitely can. If I didn't have to worry so much about theropods sneaking up on me, this would be a really pretty scene. If only I could find my way back. You know, paleontologists used to think these guys were too heavy to live on land and were semi-aquatic. I guess doing a rigid SDUF, MDUF, or finite element analysis of a primary supporting element of a skeleton was just too complicated for them. We've only been building skyscrapers since 1885. 66 million years after the dinosaurs went extinct. Sorry, it's been a long couple days. Well, it's probably time for me to just keep looking for a way back. I found another Diplodocus, which is a pretty good thing, as I'm pretty sure a Ceratosaurus, another type of theropod from the Morrison Formation, far less common to find than Allosaurus. But anyway, I'm pretty sure Ceratosaurus is hunting me. Speaking of being full grown, did you know Diplodocus has been found at roughly the age of 60 years old, making it the oldest dinosaur ever discovered? In fact, there's a good amount of evidence that Diplodocus lived long lives, or at least much longer lives than other sauropods. We have found young and old Diplodocus remains, which is really good because that gives paleontologists insight to how Diplodocus lived. We know they put on a lot of weight very quickly, which might have been a defense mechanism making it harder for predators to hunt them. Remember, the largest predator from the Morrison Formation only weighed a little less than 3 tons. A full-grown Diplodocus weighs over 40 tons. And as you can see, Ceratosaurus is not interested in coming to this side of the river. One swing from Diplodocus' tail and it's all over for Ceratosaurus. At this point, I've basically looped back to where I started, but I found a Brachiosaurus. Skittish little creatures, aren't they? That's one of our observation posts. That's a Brachiosaurus. And that's the base. I made it back. This is amazing. They're going to be so excited to see me. They're going to be all like, Tom, we looked everywhere for you, and we were so worried, and you are a hero, and you have friends, and people respect you. It's nice to be able to say now that we're back safe and sound, so let's talk a little bit more about who Brachiosaurus was. Brachiosaurus was a large sauropod. Brachiosaurus' name means arm lizard. This is because Brachiosaurus' front 2 limbs, sometimes called arms, are longer than the back 2 limbs. The image on the right shows the humerus or arm bone is slightly larger than the femur of a Brachiosaurus. Most animals, the back legs are longer and stronger than the front legs, or at least they're about the same size. Some modern primates, like orangutans, have longer and stronger arms than their legs, which has led me to speculate Brachiosaurus might have lived a similar life to the modern orangutan. Through the usage of modern simulation software, we have been able to determine what this might have looked like. As I said earlier in the video, paleontologists have not found much of Brachiosaurus. The image shown shows all of the bones that have been discovered of Brachiosaurus. As you can see, paleontologists have yet discovered the front feet of Brachiosaurus, so technically, my theory that Brachiosaurus had strong hands for grabbing branches can't be disproven. As long as you ignore that Brachiosaurus' close relatives had padded feet, the shoulders couldn't rotate the arms high enough to be able to grab tree branches, the front legs wouldn't have been strong enough to hold a Brachiosaurus upside down, and Brachiosaurus was far too heavy for any trees to support. But if we ignore these reasonable facts and assumptions, we can believe whatever we want. Or at least that's what people on the internet seem to believe. Brachiosaurus' skull is really interesting. The holes in the skull for the nose are located at the top of the upper jaw. Many sauropods have nose holes on the upper part of the skull. Paleontologists can't say for certain without skin impressions, but modern reptiles with similar nose bones have horns or trunks. It's possible that Brachiosaurus and other sauropods might have had trunks to help them eat with. If Brachiosaurus did have a trunk, it probably wasn't very long like an elephant. Not all paleontologists agree with the idea that sauropods might have had trunks, but it is interesting to think that sauropods might have had short snouts on their faces. Something interesting to think about is how different dinosaurs might have looked compared to how we think they might have looked. All we can go off of is the fossil record, but fossils only paint so much of a picture. There are things that we just may never be able to discover. But for me, that's part of the fun. They weren't large, meat-eating monsters, but animals that lived complex lives, which is something that's fun to think about how they might have interacted with the world. But anyway, here's Brachiosaurus' cladogram. We're running out of time today, so we'll finish talking about Brachiosaurus and Diplodocus next time. Will Tom actually remember to talk about Diplodocus? Will Tom be able to talk about Ceratosaurus and Apatosaurus in the same episode? Will Tom ever leave the Morrison Formation? Check out next episode to find out.